Hey, Destiny, I've got your work up here. And it looks like basically there's a couple of issues. It looks like you were having some difficulty with um, some of your selections. We got some white in the pen, we got some white in the wires, and we got some white on the CPU. So let me show you the best way to do this. Okay, so the first thing I would do is we also have that drop shadow, and also I want to talk a little bit about the background image. Background image looks like it's a low resolution image. The reason I say that is because when we zoom in, we can see, look how crisp and clear that everything that you're in your creature is, but in the background, we can see that they're really pixelated. So that's an issue, and that indicates that that's a low resolution image, meaning that you placed a 72 ppi image into your 300 ppi final working file here. So you would want to make sure that you check the file that you place for the background by opening it in Photoshop, coming across the top layer at the top of the screen and saying image size, and make sure that image is 300 ppi. Okay, let me show you some selection techniques. First thing I want to show you is the CPU. All right, so the CPU, it looks like you got some areas right here. Now, I'm not sure how you tried to select that, but I want to show you something that's a little problematic with the CPU. But to do so, I'm just going to select that layer. I'm going to find that layer in the layers palette by holding and my move tool. And I'm going to just hold my cursor over that layer, command click, and it shows me that that's the layer. And indeed, as we turn it off, we can see that's the layer. So let's come down here. I'm going to isolate that layer by option clicking on that layer. And then I want to get rid of your mask, okay? Because we want to fix that mask. Okay, so one of the things that we see is that you wanted to get this area down here. And a quick selection or a quick selection won't work because, of course, as you can see, there's parts of the computer that are white. So that's going to be a problem. So let me show you a cool technique based on a path, and we can use our pen tool to do this. Let me just zoom in here, and I see that I just want to select this area of the computer because that's all you want to use, right? So let me go to my pen tool, and let's just come over here and start selecting the CPU. Then it looks like you came down here and you just wanted that area to be used. Okay, so we would come over there. Let's get that. All right, now if we come to our paths tool, what I've done is I've created a path. So if I come over here to Window Paths, right there, we can see there's the path, right? So I can just click on that path right now, command click. There's the selection. Now I can mask it by just clicking that. And now I option click, bring it back, and there's a perfect selection of that. Now that can be selected in any other number of techniques that we have used in the past. So please, that's not the only technique. I'm just showing you some other cool ways to make really accurate selections. All right, let's address the arm over here. Let's find that layer. I'm going to command click on that. Looks like it's wire 2. Okay, so we know the mask is no good on there, so let's get rid of it. Now this, I want to isolate that layer by option clicking that layer. Now I'm going to zoom in here and let's see what the problem is here. See, it's a tough selection because you have all these colors, you have a white background, so we can just select the background. If we use our quick selection tool, it's not going to get all these little guys in here. So let's make a selection based on a color. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to come across to the top menu. I'm going to click select, and I'm going to say color range. Okay, now this toolbox will come up, and as you see, I got this eyedropper. I'm just going to click on white because that's the color I want selected, white. Now if I say OK, we can see all the white pixels are now selected, but they're also the outer portion of the image is selected too. So if I mask this right now, it's just going to punch a hole where the wires are. So what I need to do is inverse this selection. So let's go across that top menu, select, and then we'll come to the fourth one down, says inverse. We'll select that. Now, when I go to mask it, click my mask. Now we can see that's beautifully masked. Let me option click on that layers to see, okay, that worked perfectly. That's 2 out of 3 selections down. Let's look at the pen now. So again, let's go to our move tool, go to that pen, command click, find the layer, there it is. Okay, so let's isolate that layer by option clicking, and then I want to get rid of the mask because we want to improve on that mask. Let's delete that. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. So what do we see? The problem is this, is that you got that tiny little area between the pen clip and the actual pen itself. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start making a selection. This is a selection. We're going to go to a quick selection tool. Okay, and then there's our selection, but of course, remember the outer pixels are selected too. So if I mask that right now, it's just going to punch a hole in there. But I can also see an issue, and let me zoom in, and the issue is this, is that that wasn't picked up. That inside of that tiny little area between the pen and the clip has not been picked up in the selection. So I need to add that to the selection. Really good way to do that is to use Quick Mask Tool. Let me show you Quick Mask Tool. Okay, now there's a number of different ways you could do this. You can just go add to your selection, take a tiny little brush and start adding that to your selection. Okay, but I want to show you a quick mask because it's a really easy way and a quick way to do this. So I'm going to go down to my quick mask layer right here. That's my quick mask tool. I'm going to click that. Whoops. I'm sorry, I never did click that inverse. So select inverse. Okay, now I go to my quick mask and you can see that everything in red is masked. So what I want to do is I want to go to my brush tool and I just want to add that little clip area. And I'm just painting it through there so that's painted. Now if I exit my quick mask, you can see that is now part of the selection. So when I do mask it, there it is. Okay, so when we bring back the background layer, we can see that. Look how beautifully that worked. Okay, so those are those three different alternative selection techniques. And again, there's a number of different selection techniques. I'm not saying those are the only ones you can use in those specific situations, but I certainly think that those are pretty good selection techniques based on the information in those specific images and the inherent problems of each one. Now, the last thing I want to address is the drop shadow. The drop shadow seems to be on a kind of a different angle because the drop shadow is going this way, but the light source is behind the creature. It's coming this way. So the cast shadow would be in front of the creature, right? So let's go. I'm going to command click that shadow, and there it is. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say, actually, you know, let's go ahead and full opacity on that so we can see what we're doing. Okay, what I want to do now is I want to come and let's deselect that. But I want to come over here and I want to say, actually, you know what? Let's start that shadow over. Let's get rid of that shadow. I want to show you how to do this completely. Start over again. Okay, let's get rid of the background and the white and the text. So all we have is the creature. Now in the top layer, we do that command that she covered in the video, and that's holding down your Shift Option Command and then the letter E. That creates that composite layer. With that composite layer selected, I'm going to Command click to select the pixels. And now I'm going to say edit and I'm going to fill it with black. And as I fill it with black, I'm going to say okay, and that's what I need right there. So at this point, what I can do is I can deselect that, and then I can come over on, when I'm on that layer, I'm going to come over to my image, and I can bring back the background, I think, at this point. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to say, on that layer, I'm going to say, edit, transform, distort, okay? So now we're going to take this. Now, since this is going to be in front of, so if we wanted to bring it on the side, we would just do something like that, but this is going to be in front of the thing. So we need to pull this back so it doubles over. See what I'm saying? So you just cross it over like that. Now you can take it and kind of skew it around a little bit. Now I'm going to OK that just by hitting that click mark, and there would be a nice drop shadow based on, it's too dark, of course, we'll reduce that opacity, but, and that would be based on the light source coming from behind the little guy, okay? All right, so those are what I would recommend for your video. Those are my video recommendations for your file. So if you want to try those, go ahead. And if you have any problems, and remember, all those selection techniques are, you can use different selection techniques. The point of the matter is that you really have to get rid of that white in the background. Okay? Any questions, let me know. Thank you.